morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank the Lord for bringing us here another beautiful day, because we know like people think this is easy, having to record and do this stuff. This stuff is not easy. You got everything in your way, everything coming to get you.
Especially when you got the kids running around screaming.
Yeah.
But we made it.
We made it.
I'm
Thank
late.
the Lord.
Forgive me for my tardiness, people.
Oh no, you're fine. So as long as I have it posted by 5 o'clock, I'm gonna try to have it posted by 5 o'clock every Saturday. So whatever, it don't matter what time we record, as long as I have it, I can have the video posted at at 5. So try to keep that consistent at least. But again, thank you for coming, my beautiful sister. You are even delicious in your head wrap. So thanks.
Thank you. My hair's not done today, y'all.
For real. For real. Thanks for showing up. And so today we are going to talk about a prayer for Black men. It's like we pray for everybody. I want to pray for everybody, but the Lord had on my heart, and has really had on my heart for a lot of my life, a heart for Black men. And I didn't really grow up with my father around. You were blessed to have your father around. You have an older brother. I had men around, but it wasn't like men that speak into your life. And but I thank the Lord for the men I did have. I have, cousin, I got uncles. But I feel like growing up as a teenager, I had more of a resentment toward Black men. And I feel like that if they say girls who grow up without daddies be promiscuous, but I done seen it go both ways, right? It's like but
absolutely. Some girls are promiscuous to resent their fathers, and their fathers, they see their fathers every day. So it definitely does go both ways. I do see that as from my experience, but I just feel like, I think if sex was a topic that my parents chose to discuss with us openly and freely as this natural thing that you're supposed to wait, and the reason why we're supposed to wait. If I had an understanding from my parents about why and what sex was, I probably wouldn't have been so promiscuous. I can definitely say that just from my experience as a teenager.
Yeah.
And I can definitely deal with the comfort and the discomfort of talking to your children about sex, because I'm at that stage now. I'm not comfortable with talking about sex with my teenager, but he has freely and openly told me that he is sexually active. So it was just shocking to me, because, as a woman, you just look at your kids and you're like, not my sweet baby boy. And yes, your sweet baby boy is a handsome young man now, and he is well sought after by these young girls, older women too.
They want to put it on him.
But
yeah.
Yes. And black men in general, I don't think are miseducated about it, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like they even let me tell you, girl. Let me tell you. Even if you do talk to them, because we are very open with our children about sex, that is not a topic we shy from. We are raw and ugly about it, and it gets raw. I don't sugarcoat that stuff. With
my husband is the same way, and it kind of it gives me chills to hear him even say some of the things he says. But it's real. I mean, it's honest. It's something that if they don't hear from us, they're gonna hear it or experience it from somewhere else. So I've had to just kind of bite the bullet on my discomfort for the whole conversation, because our daughters are at that age now too, where, sneaky little things can start happening right underneath your nose. And you could be like, how, when, and where. And
yes, that's why be listening to the Holy Ghost. That's what with our kids, the Holy Ghost be telling us his, especially with Mishani, his father be telling him stuff. I be telling him stuff. His grandma telling him stuff. We don't even have to know what's going on. The Lord is telling us he got something going on, and then later come find out he like, oh, this happened. She did this and this happened. And you be like, the Lord was already had us on this subject, already had us on him. And we don't even be necessarily discussing it with each other. The Lord just has all of it in sync. And
Absolutely.
and even like we said, kids with parents in both houses is not gonna even determine one way or the other whether or not the child is gonna be promiscuous. If they're gonna be promiscuous, they is regardless of who is at home. And because all the stuff we done talked to Miss Shani about, he still was out in the streets, okay, honey? And it was
Right.
like, boy, you already know. We done already told you about these little girls. She ain't on birth control. What that sound like to you? Oh, she don't want to be on birth control. That sounds suspicious. Like these little girls be trying to have your baby. Talking about she wanna she talking about she wanna have just dumb teenage stuff. And they in mess. The Lord have us in his. I'm in his text messages, honey, reading messages. Oh, they'll have to. I'll burn you alive if you leave me. Like, boy, no, this is not.
You away from that toxic shit.
No,
That's not
this
cute.
is not. This is not what it is. And it's so.
I had to tell my son.
Yeah, it's so
I had to
sad.
tell my son. It's this one girl that she just likes to put her hands on him. And I was like, when girls like you, y'all flirt. They hit you, they pull your hair, they do stuff like that. And I had to tell him, I was like, you as a boy, especially a black boy, and especially like the size you are, your size is intimidating to some people. And they're going to look at you and they're going to think that you're older than what you are. So I just said, you deal with her on a need to deal with her basis. Like, don't feed into her positivity or don't feed into it because she's kind of pulling you into her trap then to try to say that you did something to her.
Lord,
and sure enough, he was like, Mom, she just always hits me. She always pulls my hair, It's like, oh no, don't get involved, Mom. It's okay. It's like, no, but somebody needs to say something to her.
Yeah, I'll be talking to these little girls how they be on the phone. As soon as I catch them on the phone with her, I'm on the video. What's your name?
Yeah, but she tried to say he hit her, got him in all this trouble, and it was just like, he was like, Mom, I didn't even hit her. He was like, we was just playing. Didn't nobody even hit her? And it's like, yep, that's how girls are. They try to flip the script and change the story.
And these girls, and then you be niggas killed.
Yes, because these parents these days is just as ignorant as these kids are, and they don't want to hear both sides of the story. They only hear what their child says. And it's always three sides. It's the one, it's the truth, it's the lie, and then it's God. It's only gonna be three sides. So, and I just told him, I was like, you've already had like these experiences. People remember those types of experiences, whether you lied or whether you told the truth. So they're gonna rock with what their opinion is about you. And that's it. Some people don't care, but I had to tell him, like, you being a boy and being a black boy, you can't even play around like that.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you got all these sisters. If there's a girl putting her hands on you like that, you better tell your sister she can whoop their ass.
Man, I'll be telling
we ain't got that far yet.
Nah, but even like with Miss Shani, I know he's getting to an age where I'm like, he gonna be moving out soon or blessed, but I'm not gonna rush the brother out as long as he do what he's supposed to do. But I know I'm like, don't leave here and run yourself right into another trap. First thing somebody do when they move out is move somebody in. I'm like, I'm letting him know, like, don't do that. She be pregnant before you know it. She ain't goosing like she was goosing. She tired. Y'all tired. It ain't cute after a while. It's fun for.
And then y'all just together.
They got just stuck together. You're trapped. You like enjoy, and I thank God so much. Friend just enjoying her freedom, and that's what I'm trying to encourage even my son. Like, enjoy your freedom. Don't rush into these girls will lure you in with their coochie. And one of the main things I try to teach him as a black man is know your value. Like what we talked to, I was telling you, the most powerful black man is a black man that knows his value, that knows how valuable he is. He knows that he's worth waiting for. He ain't trying to rush into some coochie because he know he got something special that we ain't teaching our boys that you special too. Yeah, they mad at Simone Biles' husband because he said he the gift. Why can't he be the gift too? Yeah, she the gift. But he's a gift too, because he fine and he good to her. He's a gift too. I always felt like my husband was a gift to me. Like, black man is You know your value, know your worth. There's nothing wrong with that. It shouldn't be just the woman's
Absolutely.
valuable.
You have to teach them on the same
Yes.
aspect.
Yes.
And I think it's even harder now. I saw a black mom went viral. I don't know if you saw that video. But she has raised like her son, and her son's a young man now. He's out here dating. And this girl tried to bash him, I guess, because he took her to eat, and they went to, what was it, Shake Shack or something. They went to some little burger joint. But she's like, this girl trying to bash, he just met her, and they just want you to think like it's society that has you out here thinking girls are supposed to be getting thousands of dollars, getting flued out, getting rare meals at the top of the line steakhouse. Girl, we just met. And then I think what people are so delusional about is that most of the time these men are with women that were with them when they didn't have shit. So when they do make it to give something back in return, it's not just woman that he just met that he's taking and spending these hundreds of $1,000s on.
Right.
Like they've been together since high school. Yeah. They struggle together. They don't see the back end of all this glitz and glamour. I have to tell my kids, because they're the social media age. I have to tell my kids, like, that's not real. You are not supposed to expect that in life. Like, that is not real. This is something that they're doing for YouTube or something they're doing for show or clout.
A lot of times.
And she was like really on there. She's like, I don't understand how you guys expect my son to take you out on a $500-$600 date and he just met you.
What?
Let's talk about it. Yeah. And it's like, I don't think we've ever even been on $100 date. And we've been married for what, 12 years? I was like, if I'm being honest, I don't think we've ever even been on a $150 date or anything, you know? So it's just like,
you find you can
people's
do
aspects
with that
and
money.
That's what they want. Yeah, they want black men to be a money bag. And I feel like that it's either vice versa. They're either not good enough or they're stingy or they don't like women, you know, then they try to attack their character.
Yeah. What be happening is they be getting these dudes that do got the bag and then be mad because he's not home. And he got women everywhere. So
because he got the bag.
Which is it? It's like,
what are you gonna be happy about?
Is you gonna be happy with the brother that's working a 9 to 5? He work hard. He do what he's supposed to do. He come home every day. You might not be able to buy all this expensive stuff, but you know he's yours. You know he's respectful. He poured time into the kids. That, and for a lot of women, they act like that's not enough. I got to be able to dress a certain way. Like, get a second job and buy your own shit. How about that? And buy him. And I'm like, I thank God that, like you said, when you've been with somebody out the gate, like the struggle, you come up the struggle together. It helps a lot because it lets you know and you see that you can value this person even when you feel like they're not at their best. He's not at
absolutely
his,
like
he's still valued.
You will see how a true person, especially I think a black man, you'll see the true character of a black man and when he's at his lowest point. And I can attest to that.
Right.
If he's gonna be this person at this time, could you imagine what he would be like if once we get to where we want to be in life?
Oh yeah. And one thing I have just even what?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I have to say one thing about my husband. He even when in rough times, he tried to find the fun things, try to find a way to make you smile in the hard times, try to find the positive in hard times. And I felt like that was harder for me to do. But when, like you said, when you know the character of a man, when he's at his worst, when he's at his lowest, when things ain't all good and going well, and that's how you know. And they, even for a woman too, that's how you know who a person really is, how they deal in hard times. So he's always been really good at what is the word, like persevering and being the leader, and this is the attitude we should have in this situation. He's always been that kind of thinker, and I had to appreciate that, where he don't, he let the Lord guide him and not how he feels. So he on a level like, if I ain't going on how I feel, y'all ain't gonna go on how y'all feel. I feel like shit too, but that don't mean we gonna act like it. We gonna
see, that's
ride
what
this with a smile.
my husband hated that about me, because I always expect the worst. I always expect the worst. So when some shit happen, I'm already prepared for it. And he's like, I just hate that about you. And he's like, no, don't think like that. If you think like that, it's gonna happen. And I've always been like that. So he hates that about me. And over the years, he's just kind of like, dang, just please just have some faith. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna work out. And just every time being able to work out, it may not have been easy. It may have been a lot harder, or took a lot longer for us to get to where we were trying to get to, but we always managed to get there. And it's just his positivity, I think. So it's like the optimistic side. He's my optimistic side, because I'm definitely a pessimist. I do not see it's half. I don't see no half full. What are you talking about? Type person, So that has definitely, and then just, I guess, me being back in church, trying to be back in church and read my word. I've been trying to lean more on faith. That is definitely something that I have always managed to have a problem with. And I can honestly say, probably when my mom, my dad were together, I didn't have this issue as much. But once I lost that security with my mom being gone, and then my dad, he just not knowing what to do. It was a lot harder for me to lean on faith, but that was my comfort. That was my support. And I was a teenager, so it wasn't like life hadn't hit me hard yet. So now that, I've been going through life and I've been trying to figure it out. That's all I can do is just talk to him about it, because he's the only person that can talk me off of the ledge from doing something crazy, like he's like, just calm down, just give it a day or two, it'll be fine. And then sure enough, a day or two later, it's all right. It's like, how do you manage to do that? I've just never been a thinker like that. So I've been working on just the faith side of things, and trying to accept that God is going to let and allow whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
And he doing and see that what when he's taking up his position as a leader, as a man of God. That's what God created men to. This gave them this ability. And when women allow them to be, that's why a lot of women can't be in relationships long, because when a man is in his position as a leader, he's leading his family in the right direction. And women, I've been hearing this thing about being called an independent Black woman isn't a compliment, because this is what's being poured onto Black women. Oh, she could do it. She got it. So, and pushing the men away. You don't got to help me. I got it. Me and my kids, we got it. I got it. I don't need you. I got it. So Black men is like, well, she got it. She don't need me. She got it.
Right.
Let her do it. Oh, I throw some stacks on her, but she don't need me. She got it. And it's like, then and in the same breath, you got sisters complaining, oh, he don't do this, he don't do that. I'm tired. I'm doing it by myself. But then it's like, then let the man, even if you don't want to be with that man, let the man come in and raise his kids. And you know what? Also, I'm hearing that I really kind of don't know if I like that even having a bad father around is better than having no father.
Absolutely not. I don't like that.
I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I like that.
I don't like that. I feel like bad fathers make even more of a. I think bad fathers harm a child even more. And I mean, just based on my experience that I've had with my son, my oldest, and his father, what I can really honestly say, I think I have damaged him more trying to force that relationship, or trying to tell him. I was more so trying to prove a point with him that it wasn't me that was causing the chaos. It wasn't me that was causing him to not come around. It wasn't me. I was more trying to prove it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I was trying to prove that it wasn't my doing. I left it alone. I stopped talking. I stopped calling. I stopped doing all. Once I stopped doing all that, I thought that he would just understand and he would see. He doesn't. I still say he doesn't see it now, but I kind of feel like if I would have just cut ties and left it alone and just moved on with life instead of trying to prove a point, I don't feel like we would be in the position we would be. We wouldn't be in the position we're in now.
Right.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think I ended up hurting him more by me trying to prove a point. You know what I mean? And then me trying to figure, like, I never wanted to be, I didn't want to be that baby mama, I guess you could say, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I fell back. I stopped calling. I stopped insisting that he know things. I stopped trying to include him on stuff. Now that he's old enough, he's old enough to call his own father.
Yeah.
You know, he's old enough to try to push through that relationship. And he's yearning for that relationship that he wants with his dad. And then for him not to have it now, like he clearly sees. So I kind of feel like if I would have just left it alone from jump and just went my own way and tried to just be the best mom I could be without trying to prove that point, I feel like he would be in a better place. So I do feel like if you're gonna be a fucked up father, don't be around.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's worth having a fucked up man around your child either. I feel like it hinders them in a way. And I can say that on both. Well, I can't say that on both sides because I don't have, my daughters have their dad, and even my stepdaughters, they have their dad and they have their mom, but they would prefer to be here with us, with their dad.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell my husband that bond that he has with them, I was like, you're at a volatile place in their life. Like they're getting ready to be teenagers. Like, don't break that bond because they will go to their dad about any and everything.
Right.
No matter how uncomfortable it makes their dad, he might not talk about it at that moment. He might say, okay, minute. But she just said, this is what she said to me. Or, you know, even with me, like, you know, she's like, there's stuff they said to me and it's just like, okay, well, I don't know how I feel about this in the moment, but I could not imagine being a 13-year-old girl and talking to my dad about the things that they talked to their dad about. And I was like, that bond that you guys have, you don't want to break it, or you don't want to damage it, because come 16, 17, 18, when they're having these issues with their self and relationships and all that, they're going to come to you and they're going to be open about it. So I kind of I had to coach my husband on that because I was just shocked, because even I remember me being that age, I wouldn't talk to my dad about nothing. Yeah. It's like, oh, hey, how's school? Oh, school's fine. Yeah. All right. Bye. You know, that was the most that was said. I didn't feel comfortable talking to my dad about personal things that I was going through in my life. My mom was my go-to person.
Right.
And I think my son, he does talk to his dad more than I would like him to talk to me, but that's the comfort level he has. Looks more so as his dad as his friend, you know, like I can talk to my dad about what's going on and what I'm going through. And my mom, I think he thinks I'm a little more judgmental. So he doesn't come to me about a lot, but it's some things he'll talk to me about. But I do not agree with that at all.
Yeah, I guess it's so I think it's one of those things that's so great. It's such a gray area because I feel like even though my husband, him and his father's relationship wasn't the best growing up. Like, you know, if you know his mother did all of the raising and his father was the, you know, the finances, but there was a lot of abuse and you know, his father didn't grow up with a father, so he don't know how to discipline, he don't know how to treat a kid. But even all of that, how badly a father he was growing up, him and my husband are like best friends now. And he used those experiences, seeing how his father treated his mother, cussing his mama out, you know, causing hell and raising hell or whatever. It taught him what not to do, what kind of husband he didn't want to be.
Right.
So he works really hard not to cause the same kind of drama that his father caused, you know, his mom growing up. And, you know, so he, you know, so like I said, we had a point in our marriage where it was like hollering back and forth and drama and stuff for a little while. Cause like you said, those first 5-10 years, you're adjusting. You're like, you're grieving for however long that takes. No, there's no time on grief. But you know what I'm saying? And then until you get past that, and I guess that's like with any relationship. So because sometimes people's hardships, like even my kids had a rough childhood. We were not the best parents. At some points we were abusive, I'm sure. We just may not have left scars or any permanent damage, but I feel like we were somewhat abusive parents. But later on, you start to see like those experiences prepared our kids for some of the stuff that they end up experiencing later in life, like Miss Shawnee getting jumped and Trent, where dudes have tried to grab her or do something to her and she getting out the way. Like you be like, that rough house is preparing you for the battlefield out in the world. Like, it's a war zone out in real life. Like how, Miss Shawnee like getting jumped, and I'm like, he was able to handle himself because of the way his father interacted with him growing up. It like because Trin was like, why? She's like, why? She saw something about how women play with kids, and men do weird stuff like be tripping the kids and doing stuff like a kid. I'm like, in men's brains, they're preparing their children for battle.
Right.
He like, I'm tripping you, so when a nigga at school try to trip you, you know how to look and jump over that shit. So because you know this, right? I'm training you. So you done got trained at home. So it's almost imperative to kind of grow up with some kind of war training. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you don't want to justify abuse, but you notice that people who grow up in households not as, if you grow up in a household like, right, my daughter got a friend. She didn't grow up, she didn't get no whooping, she didn't have no siblings, grow up real people. Even we didn't see that. Kids that grow up real quiet households, only children, never got their ass whooped. They getting their ass whooping in real life.
Right.
Right? So, but those of us who was getting our ass whooped at home, whether it's by a parent, a sibling, I had siblings was whooping my ass. You go out in the street, you see it's bitches you don't know trying to whoop your ass. So
right.
You've been here before, right? You'd be like, oh, okay. Trey got a friend. The girl ain't grow up like that. She at the bar. Somebody try to fight her. She like, hell no. Oh, so it's almost imperative to grow up in an environment where you're constantly
at least you don't understand how to defend yourself until it comes to that point. So you could definitely see the difference between a child that has been in a disciplined home versus a child that has not. And I would just say that it's been a battle with me back and forth. Like I've always tried to raise my kids how I was raised. And I had heard this saying a few years ago, you can't raise your children how you were raised because this world we live in now is not the world that you were raised in. So I get that. Plus, like the means of everything that we had, the means of things we have, are not the same means of things that we had back then. And I have way more children than my mom and dad had. Because, it was just me and my brother. My sister was grown adult. And then my two nieces, they were kind of back and forth with us throughout their whole life, So they were more raised like sisters to me than nieces anyway. So, but it was just like, I kind of struggle with some of the things that I want to do with my kids that I can't or that I'm not able to. And my husband's like, well, why would you want to do that with them anyway? Because he wasn't raised that way, And it's like, we were raised in a household where we didn't have to ask for stuff. If it's here, it's yours. You take it. Like, you don't gotta ask. But now I see, like, I tried to do that with my kids, and then the whole fucking 100-pack of fruit snacks was gone in a day. And it's like, what all these damn fruit snacks or 50 packs of chips is gone in 24 hours? Like, okay, wait, now y'all gotta start asking. Y'all can't, so it's like, he's like, see, I told you, they just gonna take advantage and they just gonna do what they want to do either way. So it's like, we have to find that middle part for sure.
Yeah. That was definitely an ongoing argument for us with the kids, like him, with the Yeah, they eat everything. They scavengers. So we gotta hide and lock up a lot of stuff, and they do have to ask for stuff. And a lesson I had to learn and had to really keep keep having to learn, even though because now I got like almost grown kids.
And they eat even more.
Yes, and they still gotta ask for stuff because they eat everything. So yeah, and I only get it's only a couple here, so I can't imagine you got several.
Girl, and they be trying to put the baby into it. Go tell the baby to go get this, go get that. And he's coming back and forth. What are you doing, little girl? Oh, nothing, mom. Like, oh, okay, nothing.
That is so funny. That's so funny. They showed me we using each other, but that's what Mishai and Riri used to do too. She would send him out to do her dirty work. Yeah, they're so funny. But yeah, that's been the main thing, and just praying, like you said, praying for these black men, because it's like people look at them, even the young boys. You see how these, like you said, you see these grown women looking at your son like ill, like they either want to goose him or they want to kill him.
Please go away.
Lord have mercy. So be praying for black men to step up, raise their families. Like, I just want to push out to black men. You are needed. You are valuable. And it's like you, black men. And we love the black man. I was listening to something, and this is black women blaming black men for the problem.
You know what? I've heard on podcasts too, where it's these black men blaming black women for things. Like, y'all need to grow up and get over it.
Lord have mercy.
Take accountability for yourself. It don't matter. Who did what to you. You either accept it and move on, forgive and forget, or you accept it and move on. Period.
Yeah. And
it's over.
It is, done. And it's like an ongoing cycle. Like, because it's like, okay, so you hear black women saying they never home, they ain't taking care of these families. So, okay, like for, my mother, for instance, I like to ask her questions about who my father was and how I like to psychoanalyze their relationship, right? How they were. Because, like a lot of women want babies, but don't want the man. Right? They, they want the babies, but they right. Find, get rid of him. You don't have to stay. You could go. Just give me the money. You could go. But so it's like if women don't want the men around to, you saying you want the man around, but you really don't. And then when he tries to come around and see the baby's a pawn, oh, you ain't gonna see your son, whatever, that mentality. So if these kids are just being raised by women, because the man ain't around, so this is the what they're saying. The black man ain't around. Right. So it's just the woman raising these kids. So whose fault is it really if these kids is fucked up? Whose fault is it really? If the man ain't around and the woman is raising them,
because she didn't want him around. Yeah. And then that's another little guilt trip they're gonna throw too. That's gonna be in the mix here in the future as well.
Yeah.
Because what happened? Why didn't you want him around? What was the issue?
Yeah. And
it's like there's some people that they put up with all that shit. They put up with all that shit, everything they go through with their man, just to have that man there and in the picture. And then their son being exactly like their father, the person that you resented or hated the whole entire time anyway.
Right.
Like, why would you stay in that situation if you already know he's going to end up or turn out to be exactly like his father that's doing exactly the same thing you're trying to raise him not to do?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, it's either a lose-lose or a win-win.
It's a catch-22.
Like, what are you gonna do? Right.
Yeah, it's a catch-22.
Not even to say that it's easy. I know for a fact it's not easy. It's not easy trying to do anything on your own with one kid, let alone multiple. I know that. So it's just things that you have to make these decisions and you have to pray about for your family and your life, and for sure to see what's going to work out and make happen,
Yes, and that's the word, girl. Pray about it. Everybody is goosing and multiplying babies and ain't thinking about nothing until it's too late. Then they complaining about the whatever mess or results come behind. I done had babies with this fool, but or this woman, and now I'm deciding I don't want to be with him no more. And it's like now the kids is involved, and it just is a heartbreaking, spiraling out of control situation.
Get out of here.
Beautiful afro. Look at her. Beautiful.
No.
But it just spirals out of control. Like it's it's so frustrating. So I'll be like, I encourage Black women to and Black men to like speak life into each other, like, you know, let each other know how powerful they are. Yes, letting their kids know, your young Black men, your boys, like the brothers, you can be lawyers, you can be doctors, you be anything other. You don't have to be just a rapper, drug dealer. You don't have to be, but if you want to be those things and that's what God put your heart, then do them, because God told you that that's what you're supposed to be doing. But it's like, don't chase the bag. Like, be your authentic
who
self.
You are as a person, and you do your part to be the person and be the best person you want to be. That's what I've been trying to tell my oldest. Like, just do what you want in your life. Whatever you feel God is telling you to do or be in life, you pray on it and you do whatever it is you're going to do. You be the best, whatever the hell you want to be. I can't force what I want you to be in my mind on you. Sure. If that's not who you want to be, then you're going to be miserable. You don't live yourself. You live your life for you and you only. And so that's what I've been trying to talk to him and just speak to him about, because it took me a long time to try to figure out my niche and what I want to do in life. And I think I finally figured it out. But I'm one of those people, I get bored with stuff fast. I might be on this trip for the next 5-6 years and then be like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more.
Girl, you know, maybe I'll have a different avenue to do.
Yeah, like it's so many different things in life that she's chosen to do. Yeah.
And when you read in the Bible, the Lord gonna tell you who you are, and He gonna reveal you to yourself, and open up your whole world and your mind of the possibilities of what you could even do, and really who you can help and how you can glorify Him. And it's that's what I just encourage everybody to, especially Black men, like, find out who you are in the Lord. Let Him tell you who you are, and He will make you powerful. He will. And, you know, it's like, they're going to get hated for it. I feel like a lot of people see the Lord in Black men and are intimidated by it. Even if Black men don't see it in themselves, people see God in Black men and see how powerful Black men are. And even more are intimidated when a Black man knows how powerful he is and who he is in the Lord. The most dangerous Black man is knowing who he is. And that's, you know, I just want to dedicate this episode to Black men. I don't want to hear nobody, oh, well, what about Black women? What about Mexicans and everybody else? That's fine. Everybody else is blessed and beautiful. But right now, I'm going to dedicate this just to the Black man, because I feel like Black men get beat up on so much. What'd you say?
We love you, Black man.
We love you, Black man.
I said we love you, Black man.
Yes. Even my father, regardless of how. Yeah, my father was not around like he should have been, but I recognize that he was a lost human being. He was lost. He didn't know who he was. He didn't have people in his life telling him who he is in the Lord, you know, where he just was feeling down and beat up. And I had to ask my mom, like, did she feel like he knew that she didn't want him around? And she like, yeah, he knew. I remember days when when I was like probably 5 or 6 years old, he would be crying in my lap, drunk, crying. Oh, Mookie don't love me. She don't want me. She don't want me. And I'm like, I'm a baby. I'm Lauren, okay? And that's one of the most profound memories I have of my father, is him crying in my lap because he don't feel wanted. So he don't have nowhere to go. He don't have no stable home to run to. He just go get some coochie, babies multiply, but he can't stay there because he can't keep his life together long enough, like you said, for somebody to even want to deal with him. Have to put up with that, you know. So it's so much. Yeah. So, but I learned to even love that Black man, in spite of his, you know, failure, you know, to parent properly. And my father died young. He died in his 30s. no, or early 40s or something. He died young. So, but just hurt and lost, and that's so many Black men's stories. It's about me, but that's further back in the day. Today, it's a different story. I feel like there's way more opportunity, but then I don't know about everywhere. I can only speak for what I see. So, yeah, I don't know how it was back in the day, but I feel like back in the day, this show was a setup. But
yeah, I definitely feel like we have come from a very difficult area especially for a Black man. But like you said, they don't want a Black man to realize his true potential.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's multiple races, because once a Black man or Black men in general realize their full potential, they're a force to be reckoned with. There's always got to be some reason why or something we're doing wrong, and they're gonna make that known for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were just talking about that. Got to point out his mistakes.
But yeah. Just like poor kid gets killed, they gonna pull up the one time he had a mugshot. If he's a Black boy, let a white boy get killed out here. They ain't gonna pull up his hundreds of mugshots he's had over the years. They're gonna say, "Oh, he was a law-abiding citizen. Oh, he did this or he did that." No, they gonna bash any Black child. And if it's a Black kid, oh God, it's the parents. Oh, his parents. He didn't have a mother. He didn't have a father. It's always a negative resource they're going to use to depict what this poor child has already been through. That I definitely see. And I didn't pay attention to it before, but I definitely pay attention to it now because it happens more often than none.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
But yes, Black men, we need you guys to realize your potential, your true potential. And like I tell myself, you're born to stand out, not to fit in. So don't try to fit into nobody's bullshit.
Yeah, stand out.
Vision of what you are. You are your own person. If somebody envisions you being something that you're not, you don't accept that at all. I don't care who they are.
Don't fall into it. Don't believe the hype. And I feel like that's what a lot of Black men do, is kind of become exactly what people who hate them expect them to be. And then sometimes in some cases give them where they have this leverage. Oh, look at this Black man. He was killed, but look at his record. Look what he been doing. So it's
look at his criminal past.
Yeah, so it's again one of those things. It's like, whose fault is it really? So I just want to the system is messed up, folks' mindsets is messed up. So, and all that stuff all works in this never-ending cycle. So it's like you got to change the mindset of one individual at a time if you can, and that that in and of itself will begin to multiply. We just have different conversations, encouraging doing what you doing with your babies, setting that next generation up for success. And myself, that's about the best thing you can do right now, and encourage people to speak into their husbands' lives, their sons, their fathers, speaking into each other's lives. They're encouraging Black men, encouraging Black women, encouraging each other instead of blaming each other for everything. And saying, and like you said, saying, what can I do? What can I do to be a force to change and be a better influence on whoever and wherever I go? What can I do? And that's the question we need to be asking. So that's what it is. What can you do to be a better contributor to the Black community? What can you do? But that's some good stuff. Well, we praying for everybody. I do want to ask you some more questions about. So I'll call you after this, so we could, if you're not too busy.
Okay.
But all right. Well, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to this absolutely powerful episode. Praying for everybody to submit to the Lord. Do what He tell you to do. He will not fail you. That's all I got to say.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Blessings to all of you.
Blessings to everybody. We love you, black men. We love you, black boys that are going to be black men someday. Continue your positive journey and believe in yourself if no one else does. I don't care who you are. Hopefully this will touch many. Yes. But even if it just touches one, we love you, black man.
We love you.
We love you, black boy.
And I love you, gorgeous black woman.
Thank you. I love you too.
All right, lady. All right.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.